everybody for coming. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Adam Terlson. I think I've met quite a few of you. I'm the organizer of the JS Coding Nights meetup, so perhaps you've seen me there. As Thomas said today, we're going to talk about the React Native project that we built at Internations called the Guest List Manager. It's an application to be used at our events and activities. And in order for that to make sense, I have to tell you a little bit about Internations. So briefly about us, we are the largest expat community in the world. An expat being someone who's born in one country and living in another. So I myself am from the US, living in Germany. Hey, I'm an expat. So Internations has over 2.6 million users. We have communities in 390 different cities, and we organize events in 280 different cities around the world. We do this mainly through the help of volunteers, which we call consuls and ambassadors. So it's a bit like an Airbnb model, where the company doesn't actually explicitly manage every single event in every different city around the world. That does not scale whatsoever. So instead, we leverage volunteers, and these are people who want to build expat communities in their local cities. So the app that we built is for them. It's an app meant to be used to organize, to greet people at the door, and ultimately for us, so that we can know who is actually attending our events. So how it works today is that people actually have to print out the guest list, the people who are expected to arrive, on paper. So they print out just reams of paper. So basically, we're saving the environment, one React Native app at a time. Nice. So here are the four members of the team. So one of the best parts about working at Internations are the awesome people working there. Not only Ben, Marcus, and of course Fey, but the rest of the team, because we like to say that we're a company for expats by expats. We have about 100 employees or so, but we represent over 35 different nationalities. So if you want to work on a super international team, you can come and work for us. So we're looking for another front-end engineer to work on React Native, but also React for the web, as well as other cool technologies. So if you're looking, please float us a resume. So with that, I kick it off to Fey to tell us more about the app itself.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, it's really nice that now I follow by American. Now everybody knows my English is bad. Okay, good. So this is the topic today, and I'm gonna show some background, and I'm giving you a demo with a simulator, and I'm gonna show some code. I think this is a very interesting point, and then what we come up with challenges that we are facing, and then we're gonna talk about what is a production ready and how to make it production ready, and then we're gonna talk about key takeaways, and yeah, and then we take some questions. Good. So actually, you have here the screenshot of our guest list manager. This is the official name, and then we solve a real problem for our volunteers, and then another purpose for this React Native project actually to test and then the maturity of the React as a technology itself. So we can be sure that later we can apply for a larger scale like our consumer app. As you can imagine, that is a very important. Of course, that by helping our volunteers, and then we also get a benefit, like we know better who attends the event, who is not, and then we probably can send reminders to remind them to increase our show up rate for the event. So actually, this is a win-win situation. Okay, so this is actually the background of the guest list manager. And as you can imagine, every project starts as a bit difficult, and then the React Native for us is also comes not that easy, because actually Adam actually kicked this project off, and I think we other team members really thankful for this, because actually he put up a demo like really quickly, and then convinced our CTO actually, okay, let's just do it. Let's just do the React Native. It's so cool, and then gonna solve problems, and then it's gonna be the future. And then now it turned out something like 8 months or 9 months after, and then we have really a production ready app. We are super excited about it, and then so this is probably another small takeaway, that just try to convince people React Native is cool, and then it is cool. Okay, so let's do some demo time. And before that, I'll take some fact. Now this store actually, the app actually available under both stores, and Play Store doesn't have any approval process, which is kudos. And then App Store actually takes something less than 2 days, and then which is acceptable. And then there's actually a website tracking how long it takes app to be approved, and then you guys can check later. And then I'm gonna start my demos. Okay, so as you see, this is the simulators. And then as you see, this is our login screen. And then I'm gonna log in to my dev.
Look away.
Yeah, look away. Look away. It's super sick. Okay, so this is it. And now actually try to log us in. And then as you can see that you have 2 tabs, upcoming event and past event. And then this is demo, so I'm not gonna focus on the past event. And then for the upcoming event, as you can see, you have pull up to refresh, and then also you go down, it's also refresh, but I don't have anything new. So, and then this is actually an entry point of for our volunteers, because they're gonna know, okay, what I have for the next days. And then by clicking this one event, for example, curling event, super cool. And then you're gonna have some data inside saying, okay, what the event about. And then you can also put refresh, and then to put down the latest change, whether the guest list is closed, and then you want to have, and then if guest list is closed, and then you can download the guest list. So which means you can start to check people in. And then by doing that, and then the download guest list is initiated. Don't fail on me. This is my local dev, so it's gonna come on. Okay, good. So as you see, we bring to this check-in form. And then this check-in form is something we designed, try to lock our volunteer on this screen, which means we don't want them to leave. We design all the features to be super cool, super fast, and then to lock them on the screen and then quickly check people as soon as possible. And then, as you can see, there's some statistics, like check-in on this device and check-in on all other devices. We can also sync on multiple devices. And then another really cool feature I'm really proud of is that actually we work offline, which means we're gonna tell you, okay, you are now offline, and then you can do whatever you want. You can check people in, like the guest list is downloaded. Let me say Patrick. Yes, I got a Patrick. Good. And then you see, it's an Albatross member, and then it's from US, now living in Germany, and then it's a free entries. It's our premium members. Okay, I'm gonna check him in. Yeah, it's nice. So even working offline, I mean, we can instantly check him in. And then, okay. And then another feature actually I'm not be able to show you guys is really cool. It's the QR code features. And actually you can just come here and bring the QR code, and we scan you in, and then it works super fast. And then you don't need to ask, okay, what's your name? And then you spell the wrong name, and all the awkward moments, it's gonna be avoided. And then you can search by another name, and gonna bring the keyboard up. And then as you can see that on local device, actually I check in 2 people, but globally I still check in 1 people because it's working offline. And I'm gonna just check probably another people in some test person. Okay, as you see, this is a fuzzy search. You don't need to put a full name and then by PE, and then you already got a match. Okay, I'm gonna check her in. Good. And as you can see, okay, go away, go away. Okay. Okay, good. Gave up. Okay, good. As you see, now I check in 3 people, but now I'm out of sync. And then have you seen this this indicator saying, okay, you have 2 unsynced um, attendance record. And then now if it's online, I turn off on, and then okay. Okay, do I have internet? Okay, I see. Apparently, every time something you try to demo, okay, it must be something with my local dev. Okay, good. It's something with the internet. It's saving super slow, but you see the counter went down, and then actually everything synced up, and then all the statistics got updated, and then of course, I mean, there's a possibility that this with this check-in you probably cannot find the people you want to find, and then actually we give you a full guest list, and then which means you can actually go through all of them, and then as you see, you can go to this alphabet nav and then go to M and then see okay, I'm gonna check him in. It's also fine. And then actually we give you give you different kind of filters you can do on this. But what we found out, which we really liked, is people rarely use this screen because people just either scan the QR code or just fuzzy search the name, and then everything is super smoothly on the first screen. So which is because we do tracking, like this attendance checking by which screen. And then this is something we're super excited because yeah, by some version, I don't know, probably can just remove this screen at all because nobody needs it. And then our fuzzy search is so good that you're gonna find everybody. Okay, and then okay, another interesting thing I want to show you guys is that we also think about this one-time password. And imagine the situation that you are an event organizer and you want to check people in, but you don't want to just give your phone away because that has sensitive information. Now actually we have this one-time password, which means we're gonna give you some one-time password, and that one-time password is gonna be valid for once and only gonna be valid for that event. And then this is a feature I think it's super practical. And then I'm gonna show you a bit. And I'm gonna generate some one-time password. Okay, it's good. Okay. Yeah, you see, I'm here. And then there's you cannot go back because there's no way that you go back because I don't want to let you see my other events. And then we log you on this screen, and then we download the guest list, and then we finish everything as I showed you before. And this is a feature we think is super nice to have and super practical. And yeah, and then when you do logout, there's only a logout. You don't have an avatar or anything, and then you will be directly taken back to the login screen. Yeah, and it's too bad that I don't have the chance to actually show you the QR code scanning, and super cool, and everybody's really excited about the QR code, and somebody even print the QR code and then to the event. It's super funny because we want to save the environment by not printing, but yeah, they print anyway. Okay, so any question on that? The app, our awesome app? Okay, good. No question? Oh, yeah. This one is only for event organizers. Yes. Yes. Currently at Internations, we have an app already at the App Store, but we don't like the app, and then we want to actually port some of them via React Native, give native experience, and then so guest list app give us the opportunity to actually to test the technology and build infrastructure on top of it. And then later, I'm also gonna briefly touch about it. Yeah, this is only for volunteers, which means we have a controlled way of releasing it to roll out.
If I may, just because it's interesting. So a bit of the background of the guest list app is that it's really a risk mitigation strategy from the business perspective, right? So when you're working with, your business partners, they may be rather sensitive to using something that's, so new and so, unproven like React Native. So this project was a way to ship something into production, learn internally how to actually build apps, because that was something that Internations had never done before, and also just prove that React Native actually is viable. And so now that we have proven that, we're actually completely throwing away the app that we have in the App Store now, which is a hybrid app, so it's got embedded web views, and it was developed by external agencies. We're actually throwing that away and rewriting it in React Native. So it's been exceptionally rewarding and incredibly fun to just prove that not only do we have the skills internally to do it, but that React Native is totally viable to do it in.
How do you manage that only these ambassadors can take this app and not a normal user?
Yeah, that login screen that you saw.
Yeah.
But you can download both apps, but you can't use the guest list app.
Yes.
As long as you're an ambassador.
Yeah, so the app is available publicly, in addition to our rollout strategy, which had us releasing in a limited fashion via test flight. Now it's fully public, anybody can download it. But when you log in, we actually check to make sure that you have access. And actually, Fey will be showing you exactly how we make sure that you have access to the app.
Yeah, later when we show some code.
Was it your intention to do that way? Yeah. Because we are in the same situation. We want to have an app, but it should only be available for selected people.
Yeah, so perhaps something that might be different about Internations, and I could be wrong, is that actually anybody can become a volunteer, right? So we don't want to limit who can see the app, because it's also a little bit of like a promotion, like, hey, if you want to become a volunteer, here's how you do it. We have apps available, maybe people will find it and want to, use the app, sort of thing.
Okay, good. Okay, so in case anybody interested, and then actually this the app, the native app with Android, and then I took some screenshot. It looked pretty much, you see Nexus 5 and Nexus 9 is like a tablet, and then look pretty much similar. And then the Android experience is also very smooth. And although the camera activation from Android we find is a bit laggy, but I think this is a general problem of Android. Yeah, and yeah, later I'm gonna briefly touch on how to port to Android. Also very easy with React Native. Okay, so this is our stack, what we use for the app, and then as you see, okay, I'm gonna do a quick survey, and then how many people know Redux? Okay, pretty much everybody. Okay, good, and yes, we actually center our state on Redux, and as you see, we use Redux to manage state, and then Redux Saga. Actually, now we are trying to port a lot of business logic and then control flow logic to Redux Saga. It's powered by generators of JavaScript, and then manage side effects and then API requests. And then we use reselect because it solves our problem. And then we use reselect to combine and cache selectors, so we increase the performance of the app itself, and then to reduce the re-rendering of the React component. And we use Flow actually tap check our code, and then also Flow give us some code style suggestions. And the ESLint, I think, very standard. And we use Jest for our unit and snapshot testings. And then we use Yarn for package management, and then we also use local npm packages. And the last two things very interesting is something really related to the, if you want to release the application to production. And first thing is code push. It's gonna help you to manage your over-the-air hotfixes. You're gonna fix your, if you find a bug, and then you can quickly fix it, and you can hot push to it, and then it give you some flags like something mandatory, so the user next time open the app gonna immediately install the new versions, which is really cool. But you shouldn't really abuse it, because now actually Apple App Store actually are really strict about the kind of things. And then Fastlane actually streamline release to App Store, so manage the certificate, and then all the pushing, and then building the APA, and then push up to the Apple Store for you. And then this is something that we're really happy about. We have set it up. Okay, so this is any question on this slide? Okay.
Did you consider relay?
No.
I mean, that would be nice, but that would require some GraphQL infrastructure, which is not really practical, simply because a lot of the endpoints that drive the app actually already exist. So there are RESTful interfaces.
Yeah.
I would love to have GraphQL.
Yeah, me too.
But that's not there yet.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys may be interested in how we actually structure our UIs, and our component folder is really simple. We put our files, component file, into these four folders, presentational, and then it's a building block for the UIs, receive props, and then dumbly render everything you gave them. And then enhancers, actually we provide functionalities, and then you can imagine this React Redux, the connect function of React Redux actually is one of our enhancers. And also well-known enhancers are prop maps. Actually, you map some props from one prop to another prop. This is also enhancers. And then another big chunk of our component is the connect component, because this connect component actually just connects state and combine other functionality provided by the enhancers. And then, which means it's fairly logical. I mean, it's really easy to reason about the UI, and then if you find some functionality, you can find it there. And then the last one is layout. Layout is more like you can imagine like a screen, like a page. And then a layout simply consume the presentational, and then connect the component to express your UI. And then it's really easy. And then one thing I want to mention is that with this guest list app, we have refactored so many times, we don't recognize the first app anymore. So with this kind of structures, our refactoring is really easy, super easy, by copy paste and rearrange, and then your view just works, because actually we connect the functionality at a really low levels. We don't pass things from top down, but if we want to have a login button, we can connect really like at the lowest level. So it makes sure that the login buttons you can just place anywhere on the screen, and then it's gonna work. And then this is a Saga. Saga is a Redux Saga. What I mean, Saga is something we find out been really valuable for us, and I would also suggest anybody to want to have a production-ready app to check the Saga, because it's something really good. And that is actually a Redux middleware, which means all the actions Saga are gonna get it, and then powered by the generator feature of JavaScript, and then manage async workflows. Anything can be async. If you pop up yes or no box, it's also async, because until the people click yes or no, you are waiting there. And then it's really useful to wrap your control logics. You don't express your logic in the UI, but you express in the code, and then you express in a Saga. This is actually a very interesting point. Okay, and then store is something everybody knows, I think, already. This is a Redux. And then we use normalized state. We use ID by ID. And then we use selector to abstract away of the shape of the state. And we use reselect to combine and cache selector result. And then this is super important because we are dealing with phones. And then you should always, prevent re-rendering of React component. And by the way, our React components are all stateless functions. We rarely use a create extend React component or something like that. We always use these stateless functions. So which means always kind of re-render if you have something different. Okay, so this is some concept we come up with. And then this store, UI, and Saga. Sorry about the errors because I just learned today that being a Chinese, I like to circle of this direction, but probably you guys are more familiar with other directions. But just follow me, okay? Okay, the things really easy. UI reflects stores, which means UI just gonna represent what you have in the store, and then UI gonna respond to actions and pass it along. Because UI gonna say, okay, I got clicked, and I'm gonna pass it along. I don't care about the rest. I'm gonna pass it along. And then here come the heavy players. And Saga is something we try to manage many things. Saga manage set effects and update store, and which means if you imagine what the set effects are, and as I briefly mentioned that bring a pop-up in front of the face, it's a set effect because you don't know. You bring 10 times, probably 5 times yes, 5 times no, or probably 6 times yes, 4 times no. You don't know. You have no control. And then if you send a request, it's also set effect because it's either timeout, 500, or success, or failed. I mean, you don't know that. And then we use Saga to manage all the set effects. And then we wrap them really well. And then when the set effects are managed, and then we're gonna update the store, which means everything in a really controlled way. And then if you see our code, we don't have the nested callbacks. And then our code can really easy to understand. Okay, good. So this is what I just mentioned is really like the theoretical best case, but actually in reality you don't have it. At least for us, we don't have it. And then sometimes we just need to have this arrow back, like Saga need to ask store, okay, what kind of stuff you have, and then I'm gonna do a bit conditionally. And then this is something now we are trying to migrate away. Okay, now the demo time. And then I'm gonna walk through a really small part of our app with you guys and see how easy it can be. Good. I'm gonna boot up. Okay, now I want to know, okay, how actually you manage logins. Okay, now I know if you work with Redux, and then there's gonna be a, okay, sorry, too small. Is that right? Yes, and then I know that if you work with a React and then our Redux this stack, and you definitely dispatch actions, and then I can guess by looking at my action file, and then the things most likely will be auth login. Yes, I have some auth logins, and then now I want to find the action creators. Okay, this is the action creators. Auth login is here, and then I'm gonna know, okay, who is dispatching these actions? Who is using this auth login? I'm gonna say, okay. And then I see some things using these logins. And then I mentioned that all the functionality actually are in the connected component. And then I'm gonna only look at the connect component. Okay, that here. Like in the form. Okay, good. That's definitely here. So that means, okay, by doing this, actually I got the dispatch. So now I can dispatch something, and then definitely it has to do with something with the make form, with authentication form. Okay, it's good. That means on this line, my login actually is exactly here. It get used. That's okay. Now I can guess definitely, on submit button of this authentication form, it is where it get used. Okay, my next question will be, okay, if this action get triggered, which means auth login get triggered, who is gonna be responsible for doing anything for that? And then my natural guess will be, okay, Saga definitely gonna listen to that. Okay, now I'm gonna search for this auth login. Auth, auth login. Okay, I have Saga. Okay, I have Saga auth there. Okay, it's good. That means I import it here, and then I do a watcher here. And then you see the crazy while true loop there. It's not as crazy as it looks, because these are generators. That means the function can be paused inside the generator. And then, as you can see from the take there, here, that means Saga gonna listen to this action type because auth login. And then anytime this auth login gonna be dispatched to Redux store, and then Saga gonna pick it up. And then that means this generator gonna kickstart. And then you're gonna go forward, okay? You're gonna take the payload. I'm gonna extract the username, password. This we don't need to care. And then we put okay. Please load something. Show people you're loading something. And then we're gonna do a do login. And then we're gonna pass username, password, and previous users. And as I can say, this is a really straightforward, because you see we manage two cases like a one-time password and then normal logins. And then if you go there to do logins, and then this is something also, as you see, we don't have nested callbacks. And then what we do is really straightforward. We say, okay, now you get the username, password, just try to authenticate with our server. And do you have our OAuth token received, or do you have an error? And if it's an error, I'm gonna show them error message and gonna return. You are finished. You don't need to continue. And if everything's fine, and then we're gonna extract the access token and the refresh token, and I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna take these tokens. I'm gonna fetch my user profiles. And then as you see on line 82, I'm gonna fetch the current users, because as we just mentioned, we whitelist some community and then we whitelist some roles, which means not everybody can be registered. Okay, now actually we're gonna check. Okay, is this request successful? Do you have any users? Is user with valid roles? And then if any of this fail condition match, we just throw them out. We don't care. And then if all the tests you have passed, and then we're gonna go to the next step. We see whether your user is whitelisted the community, which means we're gonna again check. If you are in Munich, okay, you can use the app. If you are somewhere else, okay, we are not allow you. And then this is exactly what this call does. And then as you see, we repeat this logic repeatedly, and then in a really expressive way. And then ignore this too. And then when everything's successful, that means you are valid user, you are valid community. And then we're gonna put a navigation change. We're gonna say, okay, now go to your community page. And afterward, we're gonna simultaneously fire 2 requests to get your data. And as you see, we also show some loader issues. They are super readable. Actually, I explained this logic to one of our HR manager, and she understands. So we are super proud of that. And okay, so as you see, this is our workflow, and then I see it's pretty straightforward. And then this is what Redux Saga gave us, and then we think you guys should investigate about this as well.
Does everybody agree that was straightforward? Does anybody not agree? Okay.
Yeah, we can discuss. Yeah?
Why do you use ES6 generators for something that seems more natural for promises?
Promises that you also need the things generator actually work also well with promises. The things we also have part of the code. For example, the thing I mentioned, bringing the pop-up is also a promise, and then we use promise. And the generator just give us much more testabilities. For example, that if you see this workflow, we want to test. We want to better test this workflow with all the test coverage, and then the generator, especially Redux Saga, give us a way of doing that. I can later, if you're interested, I can show you the demo. But for example, by doing this yield put, and then this put actually give you an object back, and then with generator, you can really easy to just assert, okay, this is exactly my workflow. And then it makes everything, all the branching in this function testable, which means we can have 100% test coverage on exactly this function. And then this is the things that Redux Saga give us, and also many other things. And then later we can discuss, like a timeout, like concurrencies, many things.
If I may, so. Okay, can you show the code again now?
Yeah.
Sorry. So when you see this code, what is actually not immediately obvious is that when you see like yield call request upcoming events, it's not actually calling this.
Yes.
What is returned from the generator is an object which describes to the Saga runner what function should be called, right? So an object comes back which describes, hey, call this function with these arguments, and then whenever you get a result, whether it's immediately or 5 hours from now, continue my execution flow. So this is fundamentally superior to promises, as Fey mentioned, because you don't actually need to execute these functions or mock them. You can actually assert in your test that an appropriate description of what you want to be executed was returned, rather than having to mock these things, mock out the return values and all this other stuff. And then, as Fey mentioned, there's actually more advanced control flows that can happen from this. So you can actually return an object that has like a race condition. So do these two things, and whichever one returns first, go with that result and abort the other one. Right? So you actually can't do that with promises. You also have the ability to fork or spawn subtasks. So it's analogous to like a threading mental model. Of course, this is JavaScript, so it's not actually true, but the mental model is there, and functionally it works in identical ways. So you can actually handle extremely complicated async workflows with these descriptive helpers that Redux Saga gives you. And it's totally testable because you're returning these descriptive objects, so you mock the Saga helper functions, and it's totally Turk's descriptive language on your business logic. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was wondering why you choose to do explicit routing versus doing it spread from your states. Like in the function you just showed.
Yeah, because we actually, this is part of our new refactoring, because we see explicit routing actually give us an advantage, because we don't need to tell UI to do anything. We don't need to, because we do this control workflow and then push you to the new screen. Actually, for us, it's also a control workflow, which means if some condition met, and then I'm gonna push you to the different screen. That's what we think is superior and models, and that is make your code super readable, and because you don't need to say, okay, I set some props or I put some action and then suddenly something happened. You don't have that feeling, you don't have that insecurity, and then because by seeing the code, I know exactly what happened. I know if none of the condition met, and then user will never be redirected. So that's what we think is a superior model. Actually, this has been covered with our latest refactoring. Yes. Any other questions? Good. Okay. So let's talk about the production ready. And then as we mentioned that we actually put this application to the App Store last week, and that was super easy. And then there's no we did 2 code push hotfixes, but it was all right. And then people didn't notice anything, and then they were super happy. And okay, let me say about some word about production ready. And then I can imagine this especially happened to us when you start a new project. I mean, all the ideas comes in, and then from you or from your product managers, and then but we do recommend, or we did that, or Adam did that, is to put your features in different phases, please, and then figure out what the dependency are, and then put a label on the pilot and MVP, and then that will make your life and then the life of product manager really easy. And next things, I think we should suggest actually we need to think hard about our UIs. You need to make the UI consistent, and then you need to think about the phone. It's really small, and then you want to train your users with your designs, and then also you have battery issues, you have rendering issues, and then so it doesn't matter what UI you come up with, and then just don't trust yourself. Just test with a real user under the real circumstances, and then we found out so many things, and then we pivot quite a lot. And another thing we think is super important is that you need to think twice before you include another library or framework. I know now out there are so many cool frameworks from Facebook or from some big companies, but you need to think about twice, because you're gonna add complexity to your project, and then that means gonna add risk, and then it means later when new developer comes in, and then gonna have hard time, and then also invest time in testing. This is like old story, but worth mentioning. And then you need to have a good rollout strategy. If your circumstance allows you to make a rollout strategy, you need to be because testing with a small user base and give you a lot of actually feedbacks, and you can quickly respond to them. And then you need to follow the guideline for both stores. By that I mean only Apple stores, and they're gonna reject your app. I mean, if you don't do what they say. Okay, and then quick key takeaways, and then React Native works, and then it's worked perfectly, and we are really happy about this. And porting to Android took 2.5 days, and we even wrote a native module. One of my colleagues wrote a Java a bridge, and as you see, this full guest list actually is in-house. It's from us, and then yeah, we spent 2.5 days, and then we spent another 2.5 days bragging about it. So it's, I would say, a week, and the performance is super good, and it's production ready, we think. And next week we're gonna kick off our next consumer app, and Xcode and then Android Studio can be add more complexities, but this is something you need to come along with React Native. And then rendering component can be expensive on the phone, so remember to perf all the time. Just this is a key takeaway. It cannot be expressed more importantly. Actually, also learn as a team. So do a group PR request, and then take really close what your colleague wrote, and then also do a lot of pairing. That's what we find. Yeah. Good. Okay. That is everything. Good.
Just a question about pair. How do you pair such a React Native app? How do you measure FPS, or like you told us to pair?
Yes.
But how do you do that?
We just sit together, and then we discuss how we do a feature, and then I do half an hour, and then you do half an hour, and then. Perf. Sorry. Okay, perf. Okay, sorry. Okay, perf. That you can use. Actually, React Native give you some tools, but you need to connect to your to the browser, and then you can say some perf start and perf stop, and then you can get a visited frame. Which view get rendered like how many times, and then we had this huge problem on Android, and it's actually just after something 2 minutes, just slow down like hell. We cannot touch anything. And then we just perfed that. We found out actually one selector was not performing good, was not cached, and then something keep rendering like a couple hundred times all the time, and then this.
Yeah. Do you mind showing the? Would you feel comfortable showing the React Native perf monitor in the simulator?
I don't have it set up.
Just debug menu and show the.
No, this cannot. No. No, we need to prepare a bit for that. But
it's
pretty easy.
Basic, easy perf tools in React Native that they give you just out of the box.
Yeah.
So, for example, you can track memory usage, you can track FPS, both on the native side and on the JavaScript side.
Adam, you mean that one?
Yes.
Oh, that one is easy.
Yes.
No, I saw you mentioned the other one.
No.
Okay, scare me.
Showing vector.
Good. Yeah, something like this perf.
Yeah.
But this perf is not that comprehensive because this one didn't give us a lot of information, but also the other one.
The other one, show perf monitor.
Yeah. This one actually gonna give you also the other things. And
so if you see like animation jank, for example, you can see whether it's happening on like your UI thread or on your JS. You can see, yes, exactly this. You can see some of the latencies of things.
Yeah.
But one of the more interesting thing is like the views. So for example, Fey mentioned that we had to do a custom bridge module when we rolled out to Android. And actually, we had to use open source library for our big long guest list because React Native's list view right now is terrible at big lists. And actually, coming soon, they're releasing new list views which fix this issue. But anyway, so like with this view list, or with the view perf up, going to this all guest tab, when you scroll down, you just see like your frame rates drop and the number of views spike like into the thousands because it does zero recycling by default.
Yeah.
So every single row is a new view and it's never cleaned up and it's never reused. So some of the more like obvious things like that you can really discover just with the tools that they give you out of the box. As far as like the selector optimizations that we did, that is reflected again in the like view count. So you can see like increased memory usage and increased view count when your components have to constantly re-render every time an action is dispatched. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, perf is important. Before you release to production, you need to perf. See which part of the app actually slows you down. Yeah.
What was the development time for the project?
Actually, we mentioned that we need to do a lot of infrastructure investment on the app, so we will be confident that we're gonna build a really much more complex native app. And then actually we undergone something like 3 big refactoring, which is doesn't bring us a lot of value, but it give us from the business point of view, because we don't bring new features, but we get familiar with the app. I would say something like close to 4 months. Yeah.
So the development can be really quick. With the guest list app, it was kind of fun because we basically had no requirements, no design, no UX, no anything.
Yeah.
This was totally engineering driven from day 1 through release, which meant that what they mentioned with early releases and pilots and stuff, I mean, that was really necessary for us to just figure out what users actually wanted and needed and what would really help them. So it took us a little bit longer in the end because we actually learned during the process that we needed to take a different direction than what we were just kind of assuming was going to be the case.
Yeah. So. Any other questions?
Version of React you started from, and do you run 4.2 as well?
Which version of React or React Native?
React Native.
Actually, we are currently on 41. I think we keep the our
What was the
repository.
first version when you started?
Oh, that'll
I
be,
have no idea.
I don't know, like 30 whatever, 30 something. I mean, we keep updated every.
Probably earlier than that even.
Yeah, but actually React Native just bring this breaking change all the time, so we also had a hard time. But actually, we keep it up. We try to keep it up. Yeah, yeah.
Because perform specific code somewhere. With some perform specific code. Or how much of the code can be used on what platforms?
Oh, we have something like, I think we say something 95%. As you said, as we said, we did this in 2.5 days. Basically, we did almost nothing because Monday is the sprint planning, which means nobody does anything, and then we just quickly hack in, and we find out so easy. And then we got one colleague, as I mentioned, Ben, actually was dedicated 2 days on this native code, and then the rest of us just hacked through the no hack. We just finished. Yeah, we just finished all the features like in 2.5 days. It's really easy.
So you have what platforms?
Yes, we have. And for tablet, for iPad, and for Android tablet, and for Android phones, and for iPhone up to 5S, and 4 works as well, but the button disappeared because the keyboard was up. We didn't do any optimization for that, but like 0 code on that. Yes.
Can you show the code and like how the component branching works? And while you do that.
Okay.
So they mentioned the centralization of business logic into the Saga system and away from the UI. And this decision can have really profound impacts on how long it takes you to go from one platform to the other. As you can imagine, if your like business logic is really baked in to the UI, and your business wants a different UI for the Android experience, well then you have to go and rip all of that business logic out, right? So React Native, it's incredibly easy to just branch your components. You just do .android.js at the end or .ios.js at the end of your component name, and React Native will automatically load the appropriate component, right?
Yep.
But so this is where the advantage of stateless functional components comes in, because they're just dumb components. You just write a new component which takes in the same props. It's just now using Android components or Android styling instead of iOS, and that is incredibly easy to do.
Yeah.
But if you have these big class components which have business logic decisions in them, it's not nearly as easy to separate out the Android from the iOS. So
yeah, actually,
really centralizing your business logic into some other system and having stateless functional components will maximize your reusability across different platforms.
yeah, as you can see, this with the Android.js suffix is Android file, and then that means in 2 days we just work on these files and then we are finished. Yeah, exactly, we are just finished with these files. And as you see, they are all in presentational folders, which means that is a good argument that you abstract away the basic building block of your UI, which means it's gonna save you a lot of time on the porting. Yeah.
How many components do you have in the presentational folder?
Oh, we have many, I guess.
Is it a problem for you to have that many, or is it
Uh,
you use the search feature to find files anyways?
no, actually, I don't think so. I haven't filled anything.
Okay. There's also a React Storybook for React Native,
Yeah.
which we haven't used yet, but we want to.
Actually, I don't think we have many.
Pretty cool way to document all.
Yeah, these are the presentational. We have some, but they are super easy. And some of them are really like a circle. And then, by the way, we do some automatic snapshot testing, and then this the stuff we pass down, and then we can do automatic snapshot testing. So we don't need to write any stuff. And the things inside are super easy. I mean, you see that, and then you see the props, and then you know immediately what it does. And then you build your stuff on top of it. And then it's really reusable. Yeah. I mean, presentational component, we can just take the folder and throw into a new project, and then we are starting everything new, which is pretty cool. Okay, good. Any other question? Yeah.
Have you integrated integrate React Native in Iris project without manually?
Sorry, I didn't get what you mean.
So you integrated in iOS project with Cocoa Pods or without?
Cocoa Pods.
No, we don't. This is a 100% React Native. No, we don't have that.
Okay. Then afterwards it can help.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you wondering about using like open source libraries that require CocoaPod?
Integration of iOS project React Native using Cocoa Pods because according to their documentation.
No, I don't know anything.
Yeah, let's talk afterwards.
Yeah, let's talk afterwards. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, thank you guys.